Hi guys, welcome back to Youth Insights podcast, sponsored by Brown and Brains Gym. And today we are going to discuss about our 12 years of school. So yeah, let's go.
Okay, so this podcast today is basically going to be all about our 12 years of school. So we are all currently in class 12. Soon we are going to bid farewell to our school life. I think we are going to miss this part of our life. And I think this podcast is going to be, very touching on our early school days. So Aarav, you want to start it?
Sure. So, in less than a year, we all are going to graduate. I still remember the very first day of my school, how I came crying to my class. My parents dropped me off, but uh, we'll have this 1 hour to reminisce upon all the 12 years. The class which always seemed too far to come has now finally coming as well. So it has been a long time, and now that I think of it, it really went very fast, even faster than I could ever imagine.
Actually, yeah, that's very true. Also, I want to know from you guys, are you excited? Are you sad? So what's the feeling of thinking, so the next year, said by you, we are going to be basically completely leaving the school and going to colleges. So personally for me, I'm actually, like super excited for what, lies ahead. And I'm actually very keen to go into it. So what do you think, Vibhor?
Obviously, everybody is excited to go to their colleges, but yeah, our emotional touch is always there from the school, which is gonna be left behind. So yeah, a sort of sadness, a sort of excitement, mix of both.
Yeah. Anything from your side?
Obviously, so like leaving behind the walls that you grew up in, leaving behind the teachers that saw you grow up is essentially very saddening. Like the 12 years have been so touching, and though change is inevitable, we all have to embrace it because sooner or later it will eventually come. And the better or the more confidently we accept it, the better it is for us. So yeah, only time could tell how I'll take that change in myself. But yeah, I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm a little scared, or because I don't know what lies ahead.
Yeah, true. Okay.
So what do you think, Armaan? We left you out.
So no, I'm definitely, very excited. I think this question is very subjective and might differ, from person to person. Many people are extroverts, some are introverts. And their views differ. Some people actually I still know who are in grade 12 with us, and they they don't like school at all till yet. Some people are like they don't want to leave the school per se, right? So personally, speaking for myself, I'm very excited for my college life, and I'm really looking forward to it. Also, leaving school definitely is a very emotional thing, but I also think it will help us gain freedom, more freedom of action, freedom of time. We actually basically dedicate 6 to 7 hours of our life daily in the school. Now we'll have the free choice, whatever we want to do, how we want to do. So yeah, I'm all for it.
So you said that we'll get to do whatever we want to do whenever we want to do. But do you think that once you get that freedom, you will surely enjoy it? Because I've seen many stories, I've heard many stories, I've seen many instances that people demand this certain kind of freedom, but once they get it, they kind of regret upon it.
I don't know. No, so I think it's very subjective, and only time will tell of how we like it or not. But yeah, I'm super excited for this phase, which is actually upcoming for all of us. Yeah.
Okay.
It is a very contrasting thing that school starts and ends with a cry emotion. But the thing is that when the school starts, you show that emotion, and when the school ends, you do not show it.
Yeah, so I think we value things once they are gone. When we have them, they hold no precious value to us. We hold them for granted. So I think we'll value our teachers, we'll value the school once we have left it behind. Because right now we are not able to have an unbiased kind of mindset towards school.
Yeah, no, I definitely value all the time I spent in the school. So school has been like a big learning phase for all of us. It has taught us a lot. It has helped us a lot. So, adding on to this part, Vibhor, what has been your biggest achievement till date in your school life?
This school life, my biggest achievement is my grades in grade 10. When like 10th board examination, I got good grades. So that was still like until my best achievement. May it get better in like board examination of grade 4.
Team. So, Aarav, what has been the biggest achievement for you?
So like in terms of quantifiability, it would be securing 15th rank internationally in international life skills Olympiad. But I would think my biggest achievement in terms of school to be something else, perhaps making hundreds and hundreds of close friends all throughout the years. True. What about you, Armaan?
So for me, my achievement in school is actually not something related to maths or sports or anything else. So biggest achievement for myself would be actually the same as you. First of all, making friends, making various friends. Second would be, the ability to, so basically through school, interacting with, teachers, sports persons, fellows, classmates. It has taught me how to hold conversations with people, how to properly talk to people. I have learned a lot of values from the school. So yeah, that's one of the biggest achievements for me from the school. Yeah.
Okay. So I want me to ask you guys one thing, that if you had a chance to go back in time and do things once again, like relive the 12 years of school, what is one thing that you would do differently? This goes for both of you.
What is the thing we would do differently?
Yeah, something that you reopen and you want to do it differently this time.
My 8th and 9th grade went online due to the COVID-19. So if I had the opportunity to go back and do something different, I would
So I would try to relive the moment in a physical.
So I would like to relive my 8th and 9th grade offline.
So it is actually true for all of us. We all missed our 8th and 9th grades online. And yeah, it was like, 8th and 9th are actually a very crucial part of people's, life in their school. It is one of the most interesting classes. And we missed it. I think it would have been much, much more fun if we were able to, live those precious moments of the 8th and 9th grade. But other than that, because that's a factor actually which wasn't, even affected by us COVID. We can't control it.
Yeah, so anything that you think you would do differently, like COVID was an external factor, even you couldn't control. None of us could control it. So anything in your personal power that you want to change?
Yes, no personal power. So I would have wished to be school captain in grade 6.
That's right. Personally, for myself, Aarav, I'm really, grateful for where I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, totally because of all the things which I've done in the past, which have, actually summed up to me being here on this podcast and talking to you, being friends with you, talking to Vibhor, etc. So, speaking of it very realistically, there is nothing which I would actually change. I've had a great life in the school. And yeah, I'm really happy about it.
Nice. So I asked you both if what would you do differently, but if given an opportunity, would you really go back in time and relive? So say for example, you have all of your knowledge that you have that you possess right now. Would you go back in time to let's say first grade with the same amount of knowledge?
Realistically, no.
No.
I won't do it, yeah.
What about you, Vibhor?
So I have two answers. Emotionally, yes, but practically, no.
Okay. So for me, though 12 years would seem like a long time, I am blinded by the pros I see in it. For example, having learned on this calculus and giving class 1 examinations and Olympiads, I think I would not score anything less than international rank 1 in first grade Olympiad. Good, right?
Yeah.
So I think that the pros that I will see, I will get from going all the way back to first grade would overshadow the 12-year span of.
Even Aarav has to come out. Yeah. So yeah, obviously that would have been fun to know all what we know in the past. But yeah, okay. So that was about the achievement part of it. What has been the biggest failure, which we all have had in our 12 years of school? Before starting.
There is no such biggest failure I had faced in my school.
A setback, generally a setback which you have faced, whether it be in sports or academics or anything else.
So you are pretty satisfied with yourself. That's nice, having self-confidence. So I think I forgot to answer the question that what would I change about myself. So I'll just quickly address it. From the very beginning of school, that as long as I can remember, I have always been that over precautious kid, worrying about little things. I remember till up to 4th or 5th grade, I used to puke before every single one of my examinations. I would cry all day long because I was so nervous and tense. So what I think I would do is ease out a little bit, live a little more, because I think that amount of pressure that I had at such a young age was actually something I don't think was good for my health. And I think that not changing myself to till date, because even before examinations I still get a lot of tense, and not even examinations but every other major event, if being a performance, an Olympiad or sports competition, I actually worry a lot more than what than what required, plus what we call the healthy stress. So I think I need to change my point of view, my mindset from going on forward.
So okay, so that's actually subjective. Okay, so let's forget the questions and let's dive deep into what Aarav said. Do you think that all this nervousness, etc., whatever you face, does it help you perform better, or does it actually, reduce your performance?
I think some level of anxiety, क्या कहते हैं? Anxiety, sorry. So I think some level of anxiety is necessary. Like I think there is a term called healthy stress. So it will help you stay on track, not procrastinate or let your mind wander. And it is really essential to help your performance. But I think what I did was, I think I was a little over precautious. So I think crying all morning and puking before my examinations was a little overboard, and I think I took things a lot more seriously than it was required.
Okay, so I think, again, there can be two sides to this answer. So I personally, Vibhor and I have also faced these situations because, we were actually heavily involved in sports. So this nervousness, impatience has always, been a close part of our lives. And I personally think that it's all in the mindset actually. If you think, positively about the stress part of it, I think it actually helps you perform better. When I'm under stress, personally speaking for myself, not speaking for anybody else, my perception personally is whenever I'm in stress, I actually perform better than I would have if I was actually, calm and was like water. So that's about it.
Information with me, like if there is no stress, no tenseness, so what is the use of being in exam days, right? The exam days and the normal days would have been same. So that stress is important, but like overdose of anything is not good.
No, my anxiety went beyond exam days or competition days. So as long as I can remember that up to 2nd or 3rd grade, from pre-nursery to 2nd or 3rd grade, I used to cry a lot on my first days or the entire first week of the new classes. And I specifically remember that even on normal days when we had no examinations, we were just learning our curriculum. So even I felt a little extra uncomfortable in my classes. So every time I used to rush to the medical room and spend hours and hours there. So I peculiarly remember that I made good friends with my school's nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I think if I went back in time, I would really change that.
Okay. That's good. So any setback, Aarav, for you? Vibhor had a very, cool school life. He had no major setbacks.
Could you like elaborate on setbacks?
Setback basically, okay. So let me answer this question for myself. So for me also, I think I'm pretty similar to Vibhor. I've not had any major setback, right? I've always, pushed myself. So therefore I have got like decent academics. I've got gotten good in sports as well. A major setback for me actually doesn't exist. So I can't even speak about it really. But anything for you? Or you are actually, similar to us?
So setback, I'll take something as was something that was demotivating for me. So of course, COVID like 8th and 9th went online. I became a big procrastinator. Like assignments were due on 11:59. I would start them at 11, submitting them at 11:58. A lot of them indeed. And then up to date, I haven't been able to cope up with my bad habit. I have been able to significantly reduce them, but still I feel that procrastination, my procrastination pre-COVID was much less than what I have today. And then a setback, I think, in terms of quantifiable terms, I think would be 10th result. So for the entire 10th grade, I diligently was studying. I spent 6 to 7 hours even after school on my table. Yeah. So I had coaching classes, online coaching classes for that NTSE, National Talent Search Examination. So of course that year the NTSE didn't happen. But for the boards also, I was meticulously training, studying for the exam throughout the year. And during the times of as we were approaching the board examinations, my study schedule increased to 18 hours. So I used to wake up at 5, and by 6 I would be studying on my table, and I used to go off to sleep by 12. So, but even after that, my score wasn't up to my expectations. So I think, yeah, that was a pretty big setback. And it has taught me a lot that you don't need to only study for the examination, you have to study the examination.
See, I would like to get onto the 10th board.
Of course you would. Of course you would. 96%.
So Aarav, what was your score? Let's hear Aarav's score first.
Yes, so my score was 92%.
Okay, so
Not a very bad score.
yeah,
It was a good score. It was a decent score, but it didn't meet your expectations. That's right.
So the reason I said it isn't, it is a bad score because throughout the years I was achieving, scores that accounted to percentage more than 95-96%. Out of 80, I was getting marks like 76, 77. But suddenly what happened in board examinations, I scored 64. And I still today don't even know the reason why did that happen. I peculiarly remember that on the day of my English examination, I was really, really happy. I was out of this world because how well my paper, my examination went. So I remember telling my mom that I think I was easily scored 98 or 99 out of 100 in that examination. So I told my mom that I wrote all of my years of English learning in the specific examination. But what happened, I don't know. I scored 84 out of 100, and the languages English and Hindi took down my score. So yeah, it was a little underwhelming, and it was a big setback for me.
so I also have a similar story like Aarav. So obviously, with the setback, the one obviously the COVID thing was actually true. It made us lazy and sloppy, and that's one thing. My 10th result, actually, I was quite fine with it. But I have a thing similar to Aarav. So for the whole year, I actually intensively studied, science and mathematics in particular, right? I also went to the professional coaching classes for the science and mathematics particularly. However, the thing to be noted is I scored the least in both of the subjects. I scored much more when compared to the other subjects like SST, Hindi, etc. So yeah, I got 95 in Hindi, 96 in SST, and I got something 89 in mathematics. It should have been opposite, but yeah, it happened the other way around. I don't know why that is, but yeah, that's what happened with me.
Guys, to tell our viewers that is it necessary or is it very much important to give that much hours for your 10th or 12th board examination, which you usually don't live. Was it worth it, or like did something wrong happen there?
No, I think so. Let's first. No, I think so. Let's first speak for 10th, then for 12th, right? So 12th boards तो मतलब अभी हम देंगे, तो उसके बारे में ज़्यादा कमेंट नहीं करते. अभी 10th की बात करेंगे. 10th से like we have gone through 10th, right? So particularly, okay. So let me make out the reason, right? What 10th does to a person is basically it helps them develop their discipline. So basically, people in 10th have to be diligent, right? They have to, actually log proper hours for their studies, right? So, personally, I think they should actually start logging at least 5 hours, 4 hours daily studies. So I think that's a good number. No, not throughout the year. Actually, throughout the year it would be quite difficult. Starting with 1 or 2, then actually going to 4 or 5 at at the peak months, like 2 months before. Yeah, the consistency is definitely the key. But personally for me, I didn't actually study the full year, right? Let me be truthful. I studied intensively in the last 2 months, to be very particular. And yeah, so that's what got me over here. I think pushing yourselves very hard, going like 12 hours or above that, I think that's actually way too much for a child who's just like 13, 14. Yeah, so I think that's my view on it.
So I do have a quite contrasting view. So I think that there are 2 years that require you to put in all of your effort, 10th and 12th. So I don't think that you should go easy on yourself on these years. You should give it your best, 101% if not, not even 99 I would say. Like start from 5 to 6 and keep it increasing, I would say rather. Because I say this because it will build a more disciplined habit. Starting from 1 or 2 would take if you start from 1 or 2, you would take at least 3 to 4 months to get to 5 or 6. But if you start trying from 5 to 6, I think that you will be able to get to the actual 5 to 6 marks a lot faster. And I think if you focus and study at least for these 2 years, I don't think that it would take a lot. So I go with the notion that एक साल है ढंग से पढ़ लो.
Okay, so Aarav said that people should actually start studying from 5 to 6 hours and then gradually push to 11 to 12 hours or even above that. And you said that 11, 12th are the precious 2 years and they should actually give it all of their efforts to get into it. So I completely agree with the fact that people should push their maximum to yield the best results. However, I disagree that anybody should study 11 to 12 hours or above that, because there are not many people or hardly 5% of people who can actually sustain studies which are 8 hours or above, and I think it's even personally harmful to their lives. So yeah, that's my view on that. Anything to counter it you have?
So if you have aspirations, then you would know that what it takes to fulfill those aspirations, right? If you have the dream to get 98 or 99%, you know that 5 to 6 hours of study daily would necessarily not suffice for your dream of 98, 99%. So there is an 80-20 rule. I don't know who the scientist or the psychologist who gave it was, but the rule goes like, if you put in no efforts, then 80% of the target would be achieved. But to get to that extra 20%, you will have to put in your 100%. So like without putting an effort, you could easily get 80% marks. But for that extra 20%, you will have to put in that 11, 12 hours of study.
Okay, so let's come to Vibhor now. Vibhor, you secured 96%. That too without additionals, right? And I think that is a very impressive score, right? And so what is your view on that? Like, did you study 6 hours from day one?
I did not actually studied like a lot of hours like from day one. I used to study in the classes in the school very nicely, but at home I used to spend my time into the sports. I also went out of the state for many tournaments that particular year. But yeah, when the exams were approaching, I then transferred my interest from sports to studies, and I studied 4 to 5 hours daily when the exam were near. But yeah, otherwise I used to study well in the classrooms, not additionally like much hours.
So, like, I'm interested, that exactly how many hours did you put in throughout the course, like prior to the 1 month before your board exam?
So like I want to share one thing. When there were 2 months left for the board examination, I watched a video ki 60 din bacha hai, how to get 95% and above. So first of all, that is a complete wastage. You should plan your things by yourself. I think none of the other plan could work for your performance because your mentality is different from others, right? So what I did was I used to study in breaks. Like if I had to study for 30 minutes, let's say. So what I studied in that 30 minutes, I used to remember it for the next 30 days. So my opinion would not be that study lot of hours together, like studying 2 or 3 hours like together. But my opinion will be study half an hour or 45 minutes, but for 4 or 5 times a day. So that will be better in your remembrance, and also it would not put a lot of pressure on you.
Okay, so the net thing which you want to bring out of this conversation is basically that you do not need to put a lot of load on yourselves. There is no need to push 13-14 hours or plus. You need to be consistent, but that has to be within the limits of yourself. So I stand with my point actually. Start with 2 hours and gradually increase it to 5 to 6 hours, and try to sustain that if you can. And I think that will actually help you to score 96 or plus. Okay, Vibhor, tell us about the last 1 month. How was the intensity then?
The intensity was quite nice. Like I had some of my friends who told me about the previous year question papers, etc. I got to know about them. I also watched the videos on YouTube. I in the last 1 month before the examination, I genuinely studied. Not the whole year, but in the last month I genuinely studied, like at the night after waking up. But like what I said earlier, I studied in intervals, and that is the best thing I did.
Okay, so definitely 10th was a big part of our lives in the school for sure. And part 2 is coming very soon, which is the 12th board examinations. So Vibhor,
I wanted to ask one thing, which is the luck factor, right? So Aarav, you studied a lot during the examination, throughout the year, and you are not that much satisfied with your result. So what did you summarize? Was there a luck factor at that time?
Definitely, there is some luck involved with these examinations. So it is the words that I state from now on. I'm fine, but of my one of my best friends. So he scored 1 mark more than me the English examination, and he constantly states that his English is far worse than mine. He states my English to be way superior than his. So I won't disclose his name, but in classes when we are sitting together, when we are writing messages during the English period or during the periodical or the internal examinations conducted by the school, he is so surprised that he was able to score 1 mark more than me in the board examinations. He really emphasized that I should have considered re-evaluation, but due to some circumstances at that time, I wasn't able to submit my exam for re-evaluation. But he is still shocked to this date, so am I, that how did I score 84 in my board exam?
okay. So let's, yeah, true words. Okay,
Study, but one small mistake at that particular time of 3 hours can let your study go in vain.
So continuing or emphasizing on more on that. So it was during the SST examinations. I think we got somewhere around 10 to 11 days of holiday. Yeah. So one of my family members passed away, I think 1 or 2 days before the board exams. So it was really difficult for me to study as we approached the SST exam. So my preparation for SST exam
was not up to the mark, and I had mentally prepared myself that I wouldn't score well. But to my utter surprise, I scored 97, and that was my highest scoring subject.
Okay. Okay, so that was about the 10th, right?
Yeah.
So now let's come to the 12th, where we are right now. So Vibhor, are you following the same strategy for 12th as you did for 10th, or something has switched?
They have actually switched because now we all know that you'll not get good college on the basis of 12th board result, right? There is something called CUET. So you need to study for that, and what I personally think is you need to study a bit every day. Like there is a lot of difference in grade 10th and 12th. Grade 10th was quite a crabbing part, but grade 12th could not be that part. Like the subjects have changed a lot, the concepts have changed a lot, the whole study have become conceptual, right? There is no such, like very less of crabbing nowadays. So yeah, you have to study daily. I study what is being taught in the classes, nothing much extra, yeah, but I study every day.
Aarav, what's your strategy for 12th now?
My strategy would remain the same. I am studying 5 to 6 hours even after school, and I would progressively increase my studying hours. So like you said that you stand at your point of studying 1 to 2 hours initially at the start of the academic year, then gradually increasing it. So coming back for just a moment to that point, Armaan, what do you think about the people who are preparing for the JEE and JEE advanced examinations? The IIT aspirants are known for actually studying, putting in 16 to 17 hours. Like in grade 10, I studied 18 hours for just a month, but they are doing the similar work for 2 entire years. So what's your take on that?
Okay, so JEE is a completely different ballgame, definitely. If you want to clear JEE, you definitely require 12 hours or above of study. Anything below that, I don't know how effective you are in your studies. Anything below that, I don't think they would even be able to, complete the whole thing altogether. So for anybody doing JEE, so we are all from commerce with mathematics. So I definitely can't go very deep into that, but I definitely know it's a very intense examination. Like lakhs and lakhs of students appear for it every year. Like less than a % of people get the admissions.
Forget JEE. What do you think about the CA intermediate or final examinations?
Okay, the CA is obviously completely different, right? In CA, you are not directly competing with the people, but it's just the examination which you need to clear. For CAs, again, I think study is definitely required, 12 hours and above that. So yeah, that's my view on that. Coming back to the 1 to 2 hours point, that was actually for students who are in the 10th, right? So anybody who is in 10th will first time, know actually what the feel is to go to some other center and give an examination over there. And people who come to 10th are usually, accustomed to just studying 2 hours or 3 hours daily, nothing more above that. Therefore, that's the reason I say that they should, start with 1 to 2 and gradually push it up to 5 or 6. Because, immediately pushing up to it up to 5 to 6 and then trying to sustain that would actually, lead to a collapse in their daily lives, and that wouldn't actually be helpful.
So the reason I said that start from 5 to 6 and progressively increase it was, if you are studying for competitive exams like JEE and CA intermediate or final, and you are able to clear it with 18 hours of study, then 10th board examinations would be a piece of cake if you study 8 hours. But this 5 to 6 hours versus 1 or 2 hours debate is completely a perspective thing. Like in Formula, studying an example for Formula 1, I remember a driver saying that in an interview that there are particularly 2 types of drivers, red drivers and blue drivers. So I don't remember which one was which, but so one of these is, I guess, the driver who starts slow but progressively increase their speed towards the end of the race. And then the other category was who start fast and maintain their pace. So it's completely a perspective and a approach thing, I understand it. So I think we'll always have our differences towards our approach.
Yeah, but addressing the masses, I still strongly believe that not everybody can actually sustain studies of 6 hours or above. From the start, I think they need to start slow. Otherwise, just starting so intensively, putting that much load on yourself, I don't know how healthy that is. So I think people should be progressive. Obviously, they should not be slow. Like, suppose you start in January with 1 to 2 hours, and by like June, you're getting up to like 3 hours. So like that's of no use. Definitely, you should start your progress with 1 to 2 hours, and then you should be fast in increasing your ability to study. You should like push yourself to the maximum. The January you start with 1 to 2 hours. Like by March you're at 3. By like May you're at 4, and then on you are sustaining continuously 5 to 6 hours of study from from that point onwards.
Got it. So I think we have had enough of this 10th conversation. I hope you agree, Vibhor and Advant. So I think that we should take the conversation forward. So I would like to ask you both, have you ever been in some sort of fight in this?
Fight in what sense?
Physical fight, or even verbal if you haven't been involved in a physical fight?
Okay, so
Anyone? I'm more interested in the teacher's fight now.
Actually, I am been with a teacher. Obviously, a verbal fight. So,
Male or female teacher?
female teacher.
Okay.
male teachers, we understand each other quite well.
Yeah.
It's with the women teachers that we might face problems with actually. Okay, so I think, I don't know, Vibhor, if you want to answer it, you can. But I guess we are still in school, so I think we should be in our, limits over there on that point.
Do you want to share?
Yeah. Soon, the part 2 for this video will come out, and the next year, when we'll, actually be fully able to show the uncensored version of this podcast. But yeah, right now, you get the feeling, right?
No, I don't mind sharing one of my instances. So I'll quickly share it with you all. So I think it was during my 6th grade, what do you call it? Annual function or annual day, like the performance that you give. I think I have told you
Yeah.
since
I
before.
know this,
So what happened that senior was trying to bully me, and he was trying to poke his sword on my shoulder again and again. So I got really frustrated, and then I held him by his neck. I pinned him towards the wall. So actually I was surprised by my strength. I was quite healthy that time, and the senior that I'm talking about was rather skinny but taller than me. So I held him with his neck. I pinned him against the wall, and with frightened, I really punched him hard on his stomach and tore a little bit of his uniform. So then what happened, one of his teacher came towards us. He scolded me, and he got away without a single scolding. So she quickly tried to attach his fan costume with the safety pins and all. But after that, it was really never, we were on good terms after that day.
Any consequences of that particular act which you faced?
I faced, but I don't, this one I wouldn't share here on this platform. Okay. So we have talked about fights, and now I would move on to quite a positive note. What were your fondest memories during all the years of school?
My fondest memories are the array.
Fondest memory, single one, the best one. Yes. The most cherished moment you wish to relive again or experience again.
I would wish to experience again is like coming to school after getting the 10th board result.
That was the high point. Basically, 10th board is the main highlight of Vibhor's, school life overall.
But then was much highlighted before that. The 10th board is a big thing, quite a big thing. Yeah, so that was
the day you received your result, or the day when you came back to stadium?
came to the school after that.
Oh, so you weren't pleased with the day. You weren't pleased at the day when you received your report card. But you were even more happy when you came back to this.
Coming back to the school, getting all the congratulations things to your
Saying the center of attraction is what Vibhor wants.
Yeah.
Vibhor being unfiltered.
Aarav, what's your high point?
Start out.
So I think one of my fondest memories again would be a trip to Bharatpur in Rajasthan. So I think it was during 4th grade, and I was in my previous school. I spent, I think, 3 to 4 days with my best friends. We enjoyed a lot there. We visited many places, and I think I had one of the best times of my life there.
I guess that's good. For me, one of the best classes I ever had would be my 11th grade actually. So 8th, 9th, completely locked down. 10th also was partially somewhat online in the beginning. Later we got to school. 11th was a time when I, actually met you guys, Vibhor and I, various other people I sit with. And overall, I think 11th was a very great year for all of us. We, learned a lot of new things. We tried a lot of new things. Yeah, actually, one of the best moments I had was the stall thing which we did. So in our school, basically, we do stalls, right? So basically, students, basically, it's a kind of, what should I say? Like, it's a competition basically in which we have like houses in our schools. We are divided into groups, various groups. We all bring like food, like fast food, etc. There's basically an annual function, and the students set up stalls.
Put up the food stalls, we sell items to the people, to the parents, to the students. And the main thing is, whose profit is, it was a entrepreneurial activity. And the one house who earns the most profit, who generates the highest profit, like wins. And that was a literally very nice activity.
So before, do you remember that how Armaan searched his house and came into ours? So Armaan,
So I don't think we should, actually dwell deep into that. So that was actually a quite high point for my school life. Vibhor and I, we went to the one of like, I don't know, tens of food stalls in the whole of Rajendra Nagar, Sayabad. The main good thing from that thing was like we know from where to get the best fast food around here, and I think that was a great activity. Trying to make negotiations,
Checking the places, checking the food items, bargaining for it. It was
you guys know that which vendor sells the best
moment
and the cheapest.
yeah. So that was actually very good. Fun.
A fun activity. Also, like we started a month before the stall day and used to spend time on it. So
Quite a intense activity which we did. The entrepreneurship thing, I obviously loved it. Doing negotiations, planning everything, managing everything. Yeah, it was very great for me. Aarav, what's your high point you shared, right? Yeah. Okay.
So we have shared our fondest memories. Now I would turn or flip the entire conversation to the scariest or the most frightening memory.
Most frightening memory of school life.
Yeah.
my scariest memory of the school life was I poked a student. He was actually a very bad guy. So I punched him on his nose. His nose broke, and he complained to the teacher, and I was literally very scared standing out of the principal's room.
So you should have told this in the fight question.
Actually, I focused on the fight with the teacher.
So yeah,
That
you
was-
get to hear the entire fight with the teacher thing. So could you just share what grade was it in? Like, don't tell the teacher, but the grade was it maybe then.
There are some sort of teachers who actually should not be teacher. They are just teacher to earn. They do not have that kind of engagement. They do not have that kind of teaching ability. And even when the student asks or contradicts to her point, she do not have the ability to answer her point well. But yeah, there are some sort of teachers, and I would not like to go ahead.
So Vibhor, I'm very curious to know that you are not comfortable to review your teacher's name. So was it in your primary, pre-primary, middle or
Middle school.
Middle school. Yeah.
Okay, so I wouldn't possibly know that.
Yeah.
So, Aarav, your scariest moment would have been that too, right? When you had the fight with the singer there, right?
No.
Anything else?
That person was real skinny. I wasn't like scared to be.
That was an exciting memory.
Yeah, that was one of my most fondest memories.
Proudness.
Yeah.
Senior ko Aarav.
True. So I think one of my scariest memories that still haunt me today are would be in one of the instances from 7th grade. So I think you would be aware of it, Armaan. So 7th grade was the last when I switched schools, and yes, I think it wouldn't have been more than 2 months of me in my new school, and it was my English examination. PA1 periodical assessment 1 examinations. And what happened that my English notebook somehow rolled into my desk, and so I think you remember it, right? Yeah. So what happened was I was definitely relatively new. I did not know anyone. So what happened? We had these desks where the desk was connected and two students sat together. So my English notebook was so. Imagine me and Vibhor sitting together. We were writing the exam. I was on the right side, and that I wouldn't reveal his name. The ex person was sitting on my left. So my English notebook was kept on the left side, and within the last 5 minutes of the examination, he asked the teacher to come to us, and he showed her my notebooks. Okay, I did not know throughout the course of the examination that my notebook was in that desk. He didn't even tell me. I don't know if he see it through my notebook or what. And then the teacher called me out. The head of the middle wing was installed, and I got scolded, not pretty badly, but yeah. And then for the rest of my day was very tiring and emotionally challenging.
Very cunning sort of man, right?
Yeah. So I still today cannot understand why he did it. I wonder if he cheated through my notebook, and why did he not give it to the teacher earlier? Why during the last 5 minutes itself?
He must have had some grudges with you.
I did not know that guy. I did not even know that guy.
Okay, sorry.
What about you, Armaan?
I don't particularly have any scary or frightening things sort of that. Nothing much. Vibhor and I, we were together in the 7th grade, right? We used to do some things, I think, which we shouldn't have done actually. We didn't let the class study. And we got into trouble quite a few times. Yeah. The 7th was like a really nice class. So yeah, the scary thing which happened with me was, so as usual, I was like, our group, was disturbing the class. And our HM was called into the class. She actually insulted the 4 or 5 of us pretty badly. We were sent out of the class. We were standing in the hallway, actually outside our room. And yeah, that is one of the scary things which I faced in my life. All in the school.
Right.
Yeah.
So, moving on. So, as you said that there were 4 or 5 of you. So, coming on to the topic of friends, who has been the best friend that you have ever made in your life? Are you comfortable to share his name?
Best friend. All of the guys I have with me right now, they're all pretty good friends with me. My best friend, best of all, I don't think I can actually, place them in rankings like that, actually. However, if I had to, my best friend would actually be my brother himself. Like he has helped me a lot. I have, seen through him a lot. He has shared his experiences. So my younger brother is just 2 years younger to me. And yeah, he has been my best friend through the whole school.
Nice. What about you, Vibhor?
Oh, my best friend. Like there are a lot of actually. You cannot get a best friend in the school. Before 10th, there were some other. After 10th, there are some other.
No, best friend that remains the bestest friend for
One thing, right? Like, for example, I had a very great friend before 10th. After 10th, what happened is his stream changed, my stream changed. he changed his school, he changed his like talking about the school. So considering that we only meet in the school, he changed his school, we changed his coaching center or something. What he changed his stream, so that sort of connection completely broke down. But yeah, there were some good friends I had, and yeah. But what I personally think is, my best friend would be, like, I will not disclose his name, but he is the one who lives nearby my. So I meet him day to day. That
Nice. And then from best friend, what do you think? Who is your best teacher you have ever had?
my best teacher, there are a lot actually.
Any particular one?
Any particular one? Yeah, my grade 10th class teacher was a great teacher to me.
Would you like to reveal her name?
No. But what I personally think is, the great teacher is not always जो तुम्हारे हाँ में हाँ मिलाते जाए. जो तुम्हारा बेस्ट बाहर निकाल सकती है या निकाल सकता है, वो तुम्हारा बेस्ट टीचर होना चाहिए. एंड आई हैड अ लॉट ऑफ देम. आई एम ग्रेटफुल फॉर दैट. Armaan?
Fortunately for me, I've been lucky actually to have great teachers throughout my school life. Till 12th, the last grade I'm in now, I still have very nice teachers, and I'm utterly grateful for that. Therefore, it makes it really difficult for me to actually choose a best teacher, and they all have been great. I've learned different things from different teachers overall. Yeah, like let me just go through the 12th grade, and after that, after going through all the teachers, I will actually be able to give a fulfilling answer to this question.
Okay. So now from best teachers, I will ask you best day. Any particular best day that is still in your memory? It has secured a spot for number 1 day.
Yeah, so best day I actually shared with you, right? The stall day.
Yeah.
That has actually been quite a highlight for me myself. Yeah, appropriate. And for you, person.
Same answer. And then any particularly worst day?
Any particularly worst day?
A day that you still hate to this day. मतलब आज ही गुस्सा आता है उस दिन ही सोच कर.
नहीं, गुस्सा जैसा कुछ नहीं है, लेकिन I had a very nice class till grade 4, I had a very great group, but there was a examination called Aryabhatta examination after my grade 4th. I appeared for it, और मैं जय माता दी करके आया था. मैंने रैंडम आंसर दिया और लकीली मैं सेलेक्ट हो गया, पता नहीं कैसे, और मेरा पूरा ग्रुप टूट गया. So, like from my previous class, only 3 of the students were there who were promoted to that particular section, and everybody else was new. So I did not have any connections with those people, and it took very time, but soon after that grade, I got a very good grade of the like in the 6th class. So yeah, that was a quite worst day.
Interesting. For you, Armaan?
Me, not had any bad days. और the worst day, as I said, गुस्सा आता है. ऐसा तो कोई दिन नहीं गया अभी तक स्कूल में. अभी 12th बाकी है. मतलब you never know what happens. Yeah, but till day, nothing bad actually. Quite grateful for that.
Nice. So, is there any valuable lesson you have learned through the course of your entire school journey you would like to share to everyone?
So one very important thing which school has taught me would be to how to properly conversate with people. So there are like a class consists of approximately 30 to 35 students, right? So these 30 to 35 plus all your peers from across the sections are very different people. So one particular thing which the school has taught me would be how to deal differently with different people, right? So with some people you can be a little soft, with some people you have to be a little tight and harsher. So yeah, that would be one great thing which school would have taught me is how to deal with different types of people.
A great answer. What about you, Vibhor?
What actually taught me how to be extrovert apart from the studies, like standing on his answer. it gave a lot of exposure to us. And yeah, there are a lot of study things, but apart from studies, it tells us school is a very important part of your life, right? It tells us how to deal with other people.
So do you think that the entire journey of school has shaped you to be the person you are right now?
Definitely.
Could you just elucidate on that? In what aspects do you think, and how do you think the school has helped you?
See, what I recently talked about my 5th grade, like I met completely new people. My group of grade 4th was broken at that particular time. Like, it is very obvious that when you don't remain in the same class, you don't remain that sort of friends, you know. So that at that point, like, it changed me as a person. It changed my further coming school life, because when I went through that particular class, I got to know that there will be times when your groups will be broken, when you have to meet new people, when you have to be friends with others. So yeah, and the same thing happens after grade 10th, after grade 12th. So yeah, that is a life lesson I got from school, and that helped me to shape me as I am now.
Serious question for you, Armaan.
What was the question? Could you please repeat?
Do you think that the entire journey of school that you have undergone has shaped you to be the person you are right now?
So school has played a significant part, I'd say, but not exactly, right? So I was also heavily involved in sports activities. So I would say schooling plus the sports aspect of it, playing. So I did professional skating, right? So I think skating and school plus a lot of like good personalities we have on the internet, like Elon Musk, let's say. A lot of people who I watch on a daily basis, plus school, plus sports, has actually shaped me of who I am right now. So yeah, that would be my answer to it. I think sports has definitely had a significant part in it, because it has given me mental strength, psychological strength. It has taught me, how to survive in life individually, being independent. So let's, let's just pick an example out of it. So when I was in, I don't know, remember properly, I guess like 4th or 5th grade, something like that, I independently with my team went to Nainital alone. So like I had to stay alone with my team. So my team were consisted of mainly seniors who were in their 9th, 10th or 8th grade, like that. So experiences this early in life have actually shaped me of who I am today.
Nice. So any questions or anything that you would like to further discuss, any of you as?
Okay, so I have a question for Aarav, particularly.
Yeah.
Because Vibhor and I have been in the same school till 12th, right? And we are not changing it. You have actually switched schools in your life. So would you mind sharing that experience of a switch from school A to school B?
Okay. So I switched from GDO in public school to Khetan, and the change was definitely not easy. So from pre-nursery till 6th grade, I was in the same section C, and I had all the same classmates. So our friendship had essentially extended beyond the schools. We would, even if we were staying 30 or 40 or even an hour apart, we used to go to each other's houses and attend birthday parties and play, hang out together. So the friendship was really deep, and suddenly changing to a new school where I knew no one, it was really hard. But I think that I was able to cope up with the change pretty quickly. So I adapted quite quickly, something which I am not good at. I was able to make lasting friendships with 2 of my classmates who still I'm good friends with, even though they are one has left the school and one has changed streams. So it was a tough change, but I think I made it easy for myself.
Okay, so it was nice of talking to you, Vibhor and Aarav. I think we had a great chat. And I think all the people watching this podcast should also, look inwards. They should see what they have gone through in their lives. They should actually reconcile the points. They should know their strengths and what all they have faced in their lives. Should gain confidence and move with full force into their lives. Signing out with Insights Podcast. Catch you in the next one.